1, 2, 3. 3 count 4.
Hello everyone, I am BeBetterGamer. Welcome to BeBetterGamer Wrestling. This channel is dedicated to the classic series of N64 wrestling games developed by CAW Corporation, which, if you are unfamiliar, were WCW NWO World Tour, WCW NWO Revenge, Virtual Pro Wrestling 64, Virtual Pro Wrestling 2, WWF WrestleMania 2000, and WWF No Mercy, which is the game I am playing right now. Thank you for watching. I hope you stick around. Today I am bringing you another CAW, another created wrestler I made, and it is none other than the bad guy, Razor Ramon. Hey yo, listen up Chico. You are looking at the greatest CAW of all time, okay man? If you have a problem with Razor Ramon, then you have a problem with me. BeBetterGamer, man. Alright, that was my terrible Razor Ramon impression. That's all you get. That's all you get. That's all I could do. But I'm going to show you how I made Razor Ramon, go over some of the details, the profile, music, moves, fighting style, parameter, ally, enemy, all that stuff is going to be typed out in a nice Google spreadsheet below. So check the description below for the full CAW, all spelled out for you. But I'm going to show you right now real quick how I made him. So here's the body, medium 1. You give him a little bit of tan, so that's the 4th skin tone. Head, I went with male 2, very generic head, nothing special here. Face, I chose male 84, which is a face I believe from Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. Can't really remember who it is, who it belongs to. Hair, middle 1. Front hair 50 is pretty good, pretty close to what the little curl he had, similar in like WCW NWO Revenge. And of course, keep the hair black. Facial hair 6. You got like that aftershave kind of thing going. The 5 o'clock shadow, I should say, not aftershave. Gold chain. This is kind of optional. You don't have to put the gold chain. I did. But you know, it kind of looks cool because he would have the gold, Chico, the gold. I said I would stop, but I just can't stop doing bad Razor Ramon impression. Mask, etc. So the gold chain, yeah, I mean, I showed you right there. It looks good without the gold chain. You don't need it. And obviously for Scott Hall, I don't have him with the gold chain. So for the ring attire, I went with Triple H tights. I've seen a lot of other CAWs do like the Rock tights or Ken Shamrock. Even I think Perry Saturn. All of those are pretty fine options as well. I prefer the Triple H because if you squint, it kind of looks like, you know, it could be anything. It could be the Razor Ramon print in the front and the little razors in the back that he used to have on his actual tights. So here he always alternated the color of his elbow pads, and actually the elbow pad that was always colored on the left would be a lot smaller and would have a razor design. Same thing with the knee pads, they would have like a razor design on it. Obviously can't really do the razor designs in this game. Boots 08, green, white, nothing too crazy there. I put white on the laces just because they stand out more, and sometimes you saw his boots stood out more. So here for his entrance attire, you have him wear the vest, the nice flashy vest he would always wear coming in. Austin, just make both colors green and it looks like just a normal colored vest. And there you go, Razor Ramon. Pretty simple, pretty effective in my opinion. My rule when I make my CAWs, if you can squint and he looks like him, you did a good job. So here is his purple and gold outfit. Again, I'm just showing you that it's just all purple instead of green, and that's what I like about this CAW. It's very simple. There's a lot of simplicity in the design. You can even do, so the other 2 slots you'll see I made him Scott Hall, but if you want to make it a full Razor CAW, you can have for his 3rd and 4th outfits, you can have him be pink, you can have him be red, blue, yellow. You can even alternate, make it black and yellow. You can do black and yellow boots. Here I'm showing you how I did the purple vest, but you can also change it to a yellow vest. He had that alternating as well. So he had a lot of variety in his colors, and I think that's what's cool about this CAW. So you can play around with it. You know, he wore a lot of different variations on this outfit. My personal favorites were his green and his purple one, so that's why I chose those. Scott Hall, the tights, I went for the Malenko tights, which is pretty close to what they would look like with his actual Hall tights, but his Hall tights actually just said Hall and they had some red design on it that looks similar to the Malenko one, so that's why I went with that. Elbow pads, he kept them black. Knee pads, same knee pads, just this time red, again to give him a little bit of that variation, because his knee pads would have like that design, that red and black design on it. And I gave him the red vest. So there you go, entrance attire, red vest. Pretty cool, huh? I think so. Very cool, Scott Hall. You know, and I should mention for this one, so for the Malenko tights, you could do white and black. You know, he did have his white and black haul, but this is a personal preference. This is just me when I look at the game. For some reason, I don't like the white color. I just don't like the tone of it. It looks very milky. I like the silver. The silver actually looks more, I mean, it does look silver, but it looks more white, if that makes any sense. It's my own silly personal preference and quirk. You can keep it white if you want. Again, the beauty about these CAWs, you know, I'm showing you them. I'm not telling you, oh, this is how you have to make it. I'm showing you what I did and what you can do based off of it. So if you want to make it exactly like me, cool, great, thanks. But if you want to change things around, go right ahead. You know, I won't be offended. Some of these decisions I made by looking at what other people were doing, and I said, oh, okay, I like that face, maybe I'll use that face, or maybe I'll use these boots, or I saw what someone else did with the ring attire and I was like, maybe I'll do this with the ring attire. So you can do whatever you want, but again, if you want this full CAW, nice in Google spreadsheet format, check the description below, and I hope you like it. Let me know what you think. As always, when I make a CAW in WWF No Mercy or Virtual Wrestling 2 or recently WrestleMania 2000, I like to do a match and talk about, you know, why I made the CAW and, you know, what's important to me. So I'm going to choose Shawn Michaels. That's my old school Shawn Michaels outfit that I made when I did my WWF No Mercy Intercontinental Championship Let's Play. I wish I had made this Razor Ramon CAW way back in the day when I was doing the Intercontinental Championship Let's Play. But here we go, coming in. So his moves are all based around his moves in WCW NWO Revenge. He was also in WCW NWO World Tour, and he was in Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. And I kept most of the moves similar. Obviously, I changed some things around, added some stuff, got rid of some stuff, and you could do the same thing, or you could keep it exactly the way it was in Revenge. It's up to you. Or you can give him any moves you want. You give him a moonsault for all I care. I don't really care. You can do whatever you want. It's your Razor Ramon CAW. But I chose Shawn Michaels because obviously the history between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, the infamous WrestleMania 10 ladder match, which I gotta be honest, as a kid, when I saw that match, I mean, that was a great WrestleMania 10. You had Bret Hart and Owen Hart in the beginning of it, and then you would have the Bret Hart winning the championship at the end of it against Yokozuna. You also had Lex Luger and Yokozuna. So WrestleMania 10 was a stacked WrestleMania. It was at MSG, and I remember as a kid watching it and like thinking like, this was amazing. This was so cool. At that time, I was still young enough that I wasn't really fully aware of the significance of it all. And, you know, a few years later, I would just discover it, how important that match was, how special that match was, how this was it wasn't the first time WWF ever did a ladder match, even though they promoted it as such. But it was one of the most significant moments in WWF history and set the standard of any ladder match to come after it, not just in WWF, but in any company ever. I think to this day, people still hold, you know, the idea of what makes a great ladder match to that WrestleMania 10. Ironically, though, no one ever talks about the SummerSlam 95 rematch between Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon, where they had another ladder match which was just as good and did a lot of callbacks to the WrestleMania 10 match. So, I mean, as a kid, I loved it. I was a big Razor Ramon fan as a kid, and it still holds up. It still holds up today. Razor Ramon, you know, obviously 4-time Intercontinental Champion. When he would go to WCW, he would win the TV title, the US title twice, the Tag Team Championships 7 times, 6 times with Kevin Nash as part of the Outsiders, and 1 time with the Giant. He would even win World War III. And the ladder match in WrestleMania 10, 5-star match voted by David Meltzer, if that means anything to you. Match of the year 1994. So it was he's a pretty big deal, and we all know the history of the Clique. We all know the history of the NWO. I talked about it in my last CAW where I made Kevin Nash / Diesel, and that's why I wanted to follow up with Razor Ramon and Scott Hall, because I'm still doing the WWF No Mercy tag team Let's Plays. I'm trying to get those episodes up and running. It's been a while since I put up one, but I figured I gotta put the Outsiders in. But I went towards their WWF persona because that's how I was first introduced to them, and since this is WWF WrestleMania 2000, might as well put. I consider it like sort of with the new 2K games when you unlock the legends, and sometimes they do the classic outfits and stuff like that. So got the legends, Razor Ramon and Diesel, aka Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. But I hope you like it. So the cool thing though about doing this call is when I was playing WCW NW Revenge, and I'm gonna show it in a little bit, but they didn't include two things in this game. And I almost forgot about it, honestly, because in WCW NW Revenge, you can do the Razor's Edge, the Outsider's Edge, or it's as it's called in this game, the Insider's Edge. You can do it from the turnbuckle. It's pretty sweet. And as far as I can tell, it was only in WCW NW Revenge. It's not in WrestleMania 2000. It's not in No Mercy. It's not in Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. I don't think it's in Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. I played as Scott Hall in Virtual Pro Wrestling 64. I played as a few other guys I thought that maybe might have the move, like Great Sasuke, and he didn't have it. So I'm going to show you right now. I got my special going, and I'm going to show you in a little bit what that move looks like in Revenge. We're going to do a little time warp here. So here I got Whip Shawn Michaels. Here we got the Insider's Edge, as it's known in WWF No Mercy, but it's the Outsider's Edge, or the Razor's Edge, as I remember it. There you go, pointing. So here we go. We're going to switch. Let's go back in time. So see, I do the counter. I'm facing Larry Sabisco. I do the counter, do the fallaway slam, classic. Still, it was in WCW Revenge. Going with my taunt. Now watch. I'm going to whip into the turnbuckle. I got my special. Check this out. If you haven't seen it, if you haven't played WCW Revenge, look how awesome this move is. Look at this. Bam. Outsider's Edge from the top rope. Crucifix powerbomb, really, that's what it's called. And goes for the pin. And then look, Scott Hall's celebration taunt, which is the classic Scott Hall Razor Ramon taunt, that was left out of No Mercy as well. And Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. And WrestleMania 2000. I don't know why they excluded that taunt. But more importantly, look how badass that move is. Totally forgot about it. It's been so long since I've been playing as Razor Ramon, so when I was doing research for this call, I went back and I played as him. So the best you can do off the top rope of Razor Ramon actually is the super backdrop, because he would do this from the second rope quite a bit, but here they got it from the third rope. And isn't that cool? Isn't that awesome? But also, isn't that strange that they excluded it? Such a badass move. Why would they exclude moves? And it's not just exclusive to that move. There's a lot of moves from, let's say, Virtual Pro Wrestling 64 or WCW NW World Tour that were left out of Revenge. And then there's a few other moves from Revenge that were left out of WrestleMania 2000 and No Mercy. So, and there was also a few moves. I mean, the whole MMA fighting system was left out of No Mercy from Virtual Pro Wrestling 2. So I thought that was cool. So Scott Hall was definitely one of my favorite wrestlers to play as in WCW NW Revenge. And if you're only more familiar with Scott Hall and not familiar with Razor Ramon, definitely check out. WWE did a DVD called Living on a Razor's Edge, the Scott Hall story. It's on Blu-ray and DVD. Check that out. It's pretty good. Obviously, Scott Hall's life, he has battled a lot of demons in his life, so they go into detail a little bit about that. The Jake the Snake documentary that DDP did features Scott Hall in it and his road to recovery. The documentary part of Razor's Edge, the Scott Hall story, is on the WWE Network, so if you have that, watch that. They also have a WWE Network collection called Oozing Machismo, which basically has all the essential hits of Scott Hall, or I should say Razor Ramon. It's really Razor Ramon focused. You got the ladder match, the rematch, and then you have the Royal Rumble Championship match between Bret Hart and him, the King of the Ring match between Bret Hart and him, which I love, which is also my favorite King of the Ring, his match against Rick Martel leading up to him being the Intercontinental Champion. Rick Martel was one of those guys I didn't appreciate as a kid, but when I got older, I really fell in love with his work, because he was a great in-ring performer. And there's also like a match with Owen Hart. It's not on the Oozing Machismo playlist, but you can search for it on the network. So there's a lot of great content on the network with Razor Ramon, if you're not familiar with him, if you're not familiar with his body of work in WWF. But that's it for today. I hope you like this call. Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, like, comment, subscribe. You've been on YouTube before. You'll probably see some links right now to some of my other calls and my Let's Plays. So I hope you check that out. I am BeBetterGamer. Thank you for watching. And as always, keep watching all the wrestling.